Welcome to Beating Cancer Daily. Beating stage 4 cancer for 30 years still takes my breath away every time I say it. I'm Saranne, founder of the Comedy Cures Foundation, and I hope you'll join me for just a few minutes daily for the next 365 days so we may laugh, learn, maybe cry a little as we live our best days beating cancer daily together. I remember when they told me that I had stage 4 cancer and to get my affairs in order. That was such an incredible turning point for me because I didn't qualify for any studies. And so I just had to figure this out. I had to look under every rock for how I was going to beat this thing. I had done all the traditional Western medicine. I did 3 surgeries, 44 radiation treatments, 2.5 years of chemo, as much as 3 chemos a day. And for me, at a very aggressive cancer, nothing stopped it. It might have slowed it, but nothing stopped it. One of the things that I got sent was hug a tree. Now, I have to admit, I did it. I really did. And once you look at the research, it's really compelling. Trees are so cool. They have a whole communication system that's underground, and they are chatting away. They are supporting each other like you wouldn't believe. So yes, I became a tree hugger. Now, you can laugh at me. I'm not saying that's what cured my cancer. I'm just saying that I did a lot of really interesting things to be active, right? To not be a sitting duck. I wanted to keep exploring. I wanted to understand how people had reversed or ignited their immune system across centuries before modern medicine. And I just wanted to see if any of that worked for me when I had no other solutions. I mean, I did a lot of wonderful things while I was also going through Western medicine treatment, but I just wanted to admit to you that I love trees and I will hug a tree now. So I wanted to share with you a few things that you can find all over the internet, but I just think, they're interesting. And look, this is scottishwildlifetrust.org. They wrote, research shows that spending time around trees can reduce stress, improve immunity, lower blood pressure, and accelerate recovery from illness or trauma. Right? It's just very simple. This site goes on to say, furthermore, when you hug a tree, you release a hormone called oxytocin, known as the hormone of love and trust, which gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling. Here's another. Being in communication with trees can reduce stress, promote calm, lower your blood pressure, increase your immunity, and significantly improve your overall sense of peace, happiness, and well-being. Now, I've done episodes on walking in nature and the research on that. This is a little different. This is like really just hugging a tree. So on this website, they mention how to hug a tree. It says, encircle it with your arms while gently pressing your cheek to the trunk, being careful not to scratch your face. Squeeze tightly. Sigh deeply, being one with the tree. Just in case you wanted a more official way how to hug a tree. I'm going to go on and tell you some other sites, but I read an article from March 2011 that said massive tree hugging in a certain part of China actually caused the Chinese government to say that hugging trees was a dangerous cult threat to national unity. And supposedly, they rounded up the tree huggers and they were forced to sign pledges that they would never do it again. Now, I can't tell you if that's fake news. I'm just going to say if for some reason you're doing a VPN in from China and you've come in to listen to this broadcast and you go to hug a tree, please check this out if it is legal or illegal where you live. I know there's certain species of plants and trees that if you touch them, you can get a fine or get arrested at many parts in the world. So just be careful that this is something that is okay where you live. Now, there was a site that talked about this movement as an act of resistance, that hugging trees because they were protesting the cutting down of trees really got momentum in the 1970s. Again, I have no idea if the story about the Himalayan area of Uttar is true, but as I said, I did read something about that. So I really want you to, you know, just make sure that you're safe hugging a tree. And again, don't hug a tree with poison ivy. There are many different attributions of how this tree hugger thing started. There's one guy named Graham Hill who was an eco advocate. He started this movement in 2004 as a way to bring focus on sustainability. There is a website called treehugger.com. You can go there if you really want to learn more about this. I just really got a meme that kind of triggered all this for me. It it just made me think about trees in a different way. This graphic I got said advice from a tree, and it was involving a holiday where the Jewish religion celebrates trees. So someone sent me this and I just loved all the advice that it gave. So this has nothing to do with the religious holiday. It's just about trees. So it said, turn over a new leaf. I always talk about that in this podcast, that cancer gives you this opportunity to really turn over a new leaf. Bend before you break. Again, going through cancer treatment can really shake you to your core. And you got to do a lot of bending because what we have to go through is so intense. And I just kept trying to remain flexible. No matter what bad news I got, no matter what surgeries or treatments, I just kept trying to stay positive so that I didn't break. And it doesn't mean that I didn't have days where this all just got too much, but I tried to remain as flexible as possible. Enjoy your natural beauty. Even if you're bald, even if you've lost weight, even if you've gained weight, all these things happen to me. Getting rashes, having digestive issues. I try to really focus on building myself and my inner beauty in terms of my thoughts, the things that I put in front of me as my teacher, the lessons that I teach on so many episodes of this podcast. I tried to really focus on my inner beauty and staying as healthy as possible. Even when my outer beauty wasn't perfect, I had no eyelashes, no eyebrows. I was 98 pounds. I really had a glow. And that was because I was really connecting to my creator. I was creating routines to stay super healthy, even with all the treatments. So I think really focusing on building your inner self is so important. And in terms of your outer self, they're great wigs, they're great scarves, they're great hats. You can do what I did, which was start a really cool yoga practice, meditation practice. So, although I was going through so much in a weird way, I was the healthiest I ever was. Keep growing. Well, I just talked about that. This podcast is 365 days, and there's so many episodes just to help you develop. So we have the great episodes with Jackie Bryan, our functional medicine expert. We just recorded one that I think you'll really love. And Missy Hall, comedian Missy Hall, she and I talk so much about comedy and comic perspective while you're going through cancer treatment. So those really help you grow because as we're talking about comic perspective, you're learning so many different ideas, how to stay positive and tickle your own funny bone. You may even decide to do some stand up after you hear all the episodes with comedian Missy Hall. Stay grounded. Trees are very rooted and very grounded. I always talk about on this podcast to make a list of the things that make you feel grounded. Put it in your phone or write it down on a piece of paper and make sure that you're doing those things every day because heaven knows with all the bad news I got, I could have flown off and become extremely depressed and very anxious if I didn't routinely do things that build my resiliency and keep me grounded. I love this advice from a tree because the next one is stand tall and proud. Even though my body was being wrecked and I was a single mom going through cancer treatment in a town outside of New York where there were very few divorced people and there was no one else visibly going through cancer treatment at that time, I decided to be very proud of my strength and my courage and to stand very tall in this community and not hide away. Some people want to pull the covers over their head and come out 6 months later. That's fine too. But at least be tall and proud in your own house. I love this one. Go out on a limb. Mama mia, did I do that by starting the Comedy Cures Foundation from my chemo chair? My first chemo treatment, I had never run a charity and I had never been through cancer treatment before. So just deciding to start a charity that would bring comic perspective and comedy programs and laughter therapy programs to other ill people and their family members and medical caregivers while I'm going through cancer treatment, that was going out on a limb. Even this podcast, making a commitment to do 365 episodes of my authentic way that I went through treatment and sharing with you things that inspire me, that's going out on a limb. But look how that worked out. You know, we have listeners in 57 countries, and we were ranked by two different sources as one of the top podcasts of the year, one overall for all podcasts, and then another one of the best 5 podcasts for cancer patients. So I think that's going out on a limb. Doing 2 research studies when I don't have a science degree, but surrounding myself with amazing scientists and proving that survivorship can have many, many different facets to it and that we can help you with your survivorship. That's going out on a limb. So I love this limb one, as you can tell. I live out on a limb. I love it. It's just how I do it. If you've listened to any other podcast, you see that. This one I love a lot. Remember your roots. I am very big into family and friends and community. And if you're comfortable reaching out to some of the other people that you have, like a tree, trees borrow things from other trees. They're very dependent on this community of trees. And so to treat yourself to that privilege while you're going through treatment, to rely on other people who've either gone through it before you or who are in your religious community or in your neighborhood or in your family. I have a whole episode on how to delegate while you're going through cancer treatment and how to rely on other people. So I love that one. Okay, drink plenty of water. Everyone knows I'm obsessed with water. So if you get the clearance from your medical team, you know I do it from the minute I wake up in the morning till the minute I go to sleep. I try to drink at least 8 ounces an hour. You have to make sure that's safe for you. I've done an episode on that. I have laryngitis right now. And so I hope that the quality of my voice is, even though it's not typical, that it isn't too hard to listen to. But I am pounding water. Another one from this advice from a tree is enjoy the view. Enjoy the view. And I say that even from my chemo chair, even through the radiation machine, even through the surgical suite. I tried to look for the lessons in it and I tried to make it as fun as possible. So bringing a joke every time I went in to share with the healthcare workers who deal with so much of our pain and our anxiety. And I just figured, let me bring them some humor every time I go. Also, to people sitting near me in the chemo room, I would bring hours of comedy material and then eventually live comedians so that we could have as much fun and enjoy that view as possible. And really think about what I could bring to that environment to improve the view or improve the experience, as I say it. So we have a lot to learn from trees. I love this episode. It really is quirky, but it's fun. And I wanted to share with you some humor that I found about trees. So I'm just going to describe. This is a scene of a Christmas tree with two cats dressed as little elves looking up so longingly at that Christmas tree, and they're singing, "Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree." And then it says, "Your ornaments are history." So this is a whole play. And if anybody has ever seen a cat around a Christmas tree, they believe it's one big toy. And I've even seen cats topple Christmas trees before. So I thought that play on the song and the rhyme was really cute. This one was a cute one. It said, "Did you know 100 trees are being cut down to produce your examination papers?" And then it says, "No to exams, save the trees." So that's a little school humor for you and a little recycle humor and not use as much paper humor. So it's an eco-friendly joke. So if you want to get some more serious research about nature, go listen to my nature episode. But I just thought, you know what? We don't hug enough trees. And why not? We have no idea if that's going to work for you. So if you love this concept, go out, hug a tree, and let me know. Go to the Comedy Cures website and hit the menu for contacting me and write me a note, or go to the record button in the podcast section and record a message to me. If you have any more fun facts about why you should hug a tree, let me know. But I'd love to know if you do this quirky thing and how it works for you. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you loved today's episode, then tell the world. Why? Because Beating Cancer Daily and our membership circle are both a listener and donor supported experience. So the more people you tell and the more people that join us, the more robust and interesting programs our nonprofit, the Comedy Cures Foundation, can bring to you throughout the year. I really want you to go to comedycures.org. And of course, I always want you to make a donation. It's tax deductible to the extent allowed by law. But what's super exciting is not only can you laugh and explore the comedy there, you can look at our membership levels and find the one that's great for you. And if you're feeling a little bit generous, gift one to a chemo brother or sister or to a caregiver that you just want to help them improve the quality of their day. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow. Guess what time it is? It's time for me to read the disclaimer. Beating Cancer Daily and the membership circle are not in lieu of medical advice or treatment. They are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your healthcare team to review your best strategy. Thanks for listening.